welcome to KenzuGaming. Today we'll be building a DLC 3 Scandinavian deck. So let's have a look what kind of new units we have here to choose from. I think this is a new unit. Okay, nothing special about this one, but what I like about the new units is this one. This is called something like STRV or something like that. The good thing about this is that it has 5 units and it has 2 top armor. So I'm taking one of these. Now there was also a change to command tanks. The command tanks are cheaper. You can see 150 for this one. That's actually not bad. What about the other ones? Now we could choose this one if we want some armor, but considering that this one cannot defend itself against helicopters and this one can, we're sticking with this one. Now I usually play a longer game, so I take 2 FOBs and I'll take 2 trucks and we can go over to infantry. Now, starting from infantry, usually I like to take these guys. Let's spin them up. But if I compare them to these, then you will actually see that the FSK is much better. Because everything is the same except the rifle. And the rifle is better for FSK. Which is why I'll take the FSK guys. So let's take them in a bell. What's the difference? This one has more speed. Okay, so I'm taking the more speed one. Then I usually take some anti-air. So let's have a look at the anti-air units to choose from. Now, the Danish got a Stinger. That's nice. These guys didn't get anything. And the Norwegian guys got an improved RBS-70. And if we compare this unit to this one, then we will see that RBS-90 is still better. We don't have to care about the infantry weapons, so I'm sticking with this one, but in a good transport. I'll take it in this vehicle. Then let's have a look as next for the anti-tank units which we can choose from. We have only this one to choose from, so I'll take this also in this armored vehicle. And let's have a look at other infantry units which we can choose from. What is new? We have this FKP, they are new. Okay, then what else we have here? I think these guys are new, 90s. They were not here before. There were also some changes to the reservists. You can see the vehicle is more expensive. I'm sure it didn't cost 10 before. Now we get reservists for 20 in total with the transport. It does not make sense to take them, at least not for me. Maybe some people still would prefer them. Now this is a new unit. It has also high explosive power, 700 meter range. Oh yeah, what I didn't mention is that there was an infantry change and most of the units have 700 meters RPG. Now let's have a look at JAEGERE 90. These guys are really good because they have a nice weapon and they have also good armor piercing power. But if I compare these units to the ones which I already have chosen, then I'll obviously stick with the RX one because the range is better and even the accuracy is better. In terms of weapons also, I believe that the light machine gun 3 is better than the KSP. Let's look at the stats. Okay, the accuracy is not as good, but it doesn't matter. I'm sticking with these guys. Then let's continue moving forward. We have more reservists than we have the anti-air units. Then we have Pansarskytte and we have Pansarskytte 90. What is the difference here? Let's just select them. Good, so the RPG seems to be worse. Much worse accuracy for only one more armor piercing power. The weapon itself is the same. So actually it does make sense to take the worst Pansarskytte actually. Now let's have a look. There must be some reason why we should take the better ones. Probably the only difference are these transports. That you cannot take the other guys in these. Oh, you can actually take them. Yeah, you cannot take them in this transport. So if you compare these units, then you will see that actually you should stick with the Carl Gustav Pansarskytte. So definitely take the weaker ones. I'll take them again in STRV. And furthermore, we should have a look also at some special units which we want to take. We have here the Stormingenior, and this one has 2 high explosive power. Then we have the improved one, which is also, but with an ERIX. So we'll take the ERIX one. We can choose different kind of transport for them. I'll take this one. It has a Bushmaster 2 weapon, so we will take this. And now we have a very balanced infantry. Our infantry force has helicopter units, it has armored units, it doesn't have slow moving units on wheels. That's a disadvantage, but in longer games and total destruction games this is going to be a plus for you. So now we can also fight against tanks, against helicopters and planes, and also against infantry which is far away, and tanks as well. So we have a pretty well-rounded force. Now we can move on to support. Now looking at support, we have the new Bkan. The difference is in the accuracy. Obviously we'll take the better one. Even the weaker one has also the same number of units, so there is absolutely no reason you would want to take this one unless you play for a mechanized deck, because in a mechanized deck you can take a Bkan. Now another new unit is this one. It's the Amos. As you can see, it has a twin cannon. It's fast firing, has pretty long range for a mortar, and very accurate. And there's also some second weapon, some heat, well, 1900 range. I haven't used that cannon yet, but you should be trying, well, maybe it can save your life, but you should be trying not to get the mortar in such a close range to the enemy anyway. So I'll take one of these guys, and then what I see here, there is very interesting thing. For example, where was it? There was, oh yeah, this guy, NASAMS. As you can see, it has the air-to-air medium range missiles, same which planes carry. I find it pretty funny, but I would not take it because the range against helicopters is 2800, range against airplanes 3500, and it has the radar straight. Now this is funny, it doesn't have the radar straight here, but here it does. So this could be also a bug. I think this is what is the true, this is the truth, I believe. So now we could again take our Noah like we usually take, well, I usually take. However, if I compare this unit to the EOTS, which is a new one, then you obviously will see, yeah, the range is not as good against helicopters and planes. Accuracy is the same, everything is the same, but look at this. This one has the radar trait, and this one does not. This means that we can use this unit without being afraid of seed, and this is the reason why we will take it. Now, I was looking what kind of anti-air sparks could I take. There are not that many to choose from. Obviously, when I have this one which does not have radar, I would want to take some other one which doesn't have radar either. Then we have this one which has helicopter range 2400 meters. This is the same. This is radar. Actually I would choose this one. So now, depending how you want to play, you might want to take this one. In fact, let me take this one. So I'll take this unit against helicopters, but another unit which I find amazing, because this is not a spark, so you might want to stick with this one. Usually Scandinavian players were using this before, the Vig-40. Now if we switch to this one, you can see the accuracy is much higher. It has a stabilizer as well. So you really have to choose what you want to have. I recommend choosing one of the following 3 units, or 2 of these following 3 units. You can take this guy if you want something which is non-radar. Then you can have a very good combination of non-radar units, including the Hawk and the RBS-70. Or instead of RBS-70, you could take, for example, this one, which also gives you a good range against helicopters, but then you obviously have to micro, so you don't get it killed by seed. you still have 10 of them, so even if you lose a couple, it's fine. And then you have the automatic, and the automatic is an amazing unit. I love it. It feels like it's firing 10 cannon shells into planes, helicopters and whatnot. Another good thing is that the ground range is 2200 meters, so it can pretty much beat up also enemy infantry, even vehicles which approach it. So I definitely recommend you to take this unit no matter what. So I have this automatic unit, and I will take this RBS-70 as my secondary short-range anti-air unit. So the way I would be playing it is using Hawks and RBS-70. Maybe at the beginning of the game I just have RBS-70, and later when we see that they have enough planes, I'll buy 4 of these guys and I'll just clean up all of the airspace. And then in the second half of the game, when there is less seed danger, then I would recommend using this automatic. Or if in case you want to choose a different path, you could take the automatic together with the combination of LVKV 90. You will place these guys in front of the automatic, and also you will replace this unit with the NOAA, the Hawk with the NOAA, so that you can, well, because when you have the SPAG in front of your forces and you put some NOAAs at the back, then you're not gonna lose your NOAAs anyway. Now let me take just these units for now, these two. Now let's have a look at the units which we have in the tank sections. We have the Leo 2A4, and a very nice thing is the armor piercing power. We can see it's 23, so we absolutely have to take this unit. Another unit which I recommend, if you just look at the top priced units, it's this one. Now this doesn't have especially amazing stats if you look at the front armor and armor piercing value, but what should be interesting you is the accuracy and most of all rate of fire, 15 rounds per minute. So this is a really good killer of infantry fighting vehicles and light tanks, and it can even fight against medium tanks moderately well. I usually place these in the forests so it can defend against small pushes and whatnot. I usually use these in tandem with heavy tanks. So I'll take one of these guys. You could of course skip this unit because it does not have a turret, so it cannot turn, and that's why you might want to take some other tanks instead. In any case, I have this unit, and I'm a player who is wielding tanks a lot, so I'll be taking 5 slots of tanks. Another tank which I take is this Leo Eco 70. It's really good because it has very good accuracy. Then my second choice would be this Leo, which is slightly weaker. I take one of those, and then not to forget, this is an amazing unit. It has only 10 front armor, but it has 2275 meter range, 70% accuracy and 16 AP power for only 55 points. So this is an amazing tank, especially to use in forests. If it meets heavy tanks in the forest, it can actually dish up a lot of pain, and it can destroy them fairly easily, because with 16 AP power and another bonus of 10 at close range, you're gonna wreck a lot of tanks. So this is definitely a unit which you should take together with this one and with this one. Now this one is really a question of your preference, and this one really depends if you want to have 5 tanks or only 4. If you want to take 4 tanks, then I recommend you ditch this one. This one is definitely one which you should take no matter what. Now let's have a look at Recon. I usually fill up this section later on, so I'm gonna skip this for now and fill out all the other areas first before moving on. In the vehicle section we have a new unit which is the IKV, this one, for 35. What's really good about it is that it has armor piercing rounds and 16 AP power and range 2100 meters. It's so much better than this unit which has only heat. So I'm taking one of these, and I have pretty much another card of light tanks. Well, yeah, light tanks. Then I also take a TOW 2, and I'm pretty much done with this section. Now here we can see we have another new unit, which is this one, TOW 2 unit. I'm gonna take one of these guys, and I'm moving on to the plane section. In the plane section, you might have noticed straight away there is a Gripen, a very, very sexy plane. Let's close it for now. So I really love this plane. but unfortunately I will not take it if I'm not taking 2 air superiority fighters. So if I take this unit and I want another air superiority fighter, I'm going to take the F-16. Now let's compare the stats of this one and the Gripen. You can see pretty much everything is the same except the cannon. The Mauser is not so powerful, not so accurate. It has much lower rate of fire. So if you do take F-16 and Gripen, then it's fine. But if you want to take only one of these 2 planes, then you should take the F-16 no matter what. That's why I'm gonna put the Gripen behind. And now I want to take some seed. So a seed unit which I have here, which I like, is this Puff. You have 4 of them. It's true that the seed is not especially good. It has a very low range. The plane is very slow, 750 kilometers per hour, and the ECM also not especially good for a seed plane, only 30%. But since it's so cheap and you get 4 of them, it's still fine. So I'm gonna take one of these guys. Now we need something to kill tanks. We need some tank buster. Here I recommend the MLU. It has Mavericks, and there's not much to add. It's simply an amazing plane. Now, what you might have not noticed is that while before most people would be taking the fighting Falcons, now I think there will be more trend towards cluster bombers, because if you look at this cluster bomb here, it has 10 armor piercing power. I believe it had only 6 before. And just imagine what happens if 4 of these bombs fall on some plane, let's say, no, not on a plane, but on a tank, like Leo 2A5, is gonna wreck the tank. Because Leo 2A5 has maybe 4 armor. Also the same thing for all the heavies of the Red 4. So this is a very, very powerful bomb. And I cannot take it, I don't have enough money. So I'm not gonna take this. I recommend... well, it depends how you have balanced your other deck. So if you take 5 planes, I would recommend taking this one too. Now, since I don't need so many planes here, because I already have a very strong Air Force, well, not the Air Force, but anti-air, you can see I have 2 cards, and I'm planning to have maybe a 3rd one, and this cannot be seeded, so this is really good. So I'm gonna get rid of the Gripen, and now I have space for the Bkan. Helicopter is done, vehicles is done, Recon is not done, so Recon is the only one which is left at this point. So we have 4 points. I would recommend taking these guys, simply because don't forget to take the Bell 412 because it's more health. Now we can take one more unit. In the tank section we are full. Yeah, so another one which I would recommend taking is some kind of helicopter. It could be this one if you want better optics, or it could be a scout defender if you want to have also some weapons to fight with. Don't forget that these rockets, even though they're only against ground, you can use them also against helicopters. You can take down even helicopters like Super Cobra with this. Simply take this unit and order it with a fire position order at an enemy helicopter, and if the enemy helicopter is not moving, you're gonna fire your missiles and you're gonna wreck the other helicopter. So I'm taking this one instead of these. And now what I also recommend is there is a new unit called JAEGERE 90, and this unit is really nice because it's very powerful. It has a strong RPG, good machine gun, and you get 5 of them. I recommend taking them in the Jupiter trucks. Then you have some fast cheap unit which you can bring in very cheap transports. This is especially useful at the beginning of the game. So what I'm going to do is kick out this tank. I get another 4 points. Now I can take one of these guys in Jupiter. So I have some cheap infantry at the beginning. You know that my infantry is mostly in heavy infantry fighting vehicles and helicopters. And now I can take one more. So another unit which I might want to take is, if looking at this area, I like this autocannon. You could take either this one or another TOW 2 if you think that's necessary, or you might want to take some vehicle. So I'll take a vehicle here with a Recon so it can accompany my other units. I also like this little guy. I mostly take it because it's so cute. The stats are not especially awesome, but it's very cheap. You have many of them and you can spam them anywhere. And it can also defend itself pretty well. Well, okay, I'm sticking with the wildcat, and so my deck here is finished. I hope you enjoyed this introduction. And please let me know what you think about this deck and what would you make different.